Welcome to all my dear students in the today's session of accountancy class. Dear students, in our last accountancy revision class, we have these chapters. The first chapter was Introduction to Accounting, then Basic Terms of Accounting. Then we saw that Theory Base of Accounting, which is very important chapter. Basis of accounting, cash basis and accrual basis of accounting. We studied what are they. Then accounting equation, that is asset is equal to capital plus liability. Then we saw different rules of debit and credit with modern approach and traditional approach. Then we saw different source documents used while recording accounting work. Then we saw what is journal entry, what is journalizing, that process, and we discussed about how to pass a journal entry. Then we saw ledger posting. If a journal entry is given, how it is transferred to a ledger, that was discussed. Then we discussed about a very important chapter, that is cash book. Okay, in cash book we studied the single column cash book, double column cash book, petty cash book. In petty cash book itself we have discussed, actually there are two types, simple petty cash book and analytical petty cash book. Both are important. Though last class we have discussed only analytical petty cash book, you should also practice simple petty cash book. Okay, so in this chapter almost all the concepts are very important. Then we saw special purpose book, that is other books. In this special purpose book there are 4 categories, that is purchase book, sales book, purchase return book, sales return book. There is also journal proper, that is those entries which are not recorded in cash book or the other 4 different types of books, that is purchase, sales book, purchase return or sales return book. That type of entries will be recorded in journal proper. That also you have to study very well. It is also an important concept. And how to prepare a purchase book or sales book with its proper format, you should study. So these 2 chapters are very important from your exams point of view. So do practice almost all the problems related to these 2 chapters. Today we will discuss some more chapters, that is Accounting of Goods and Service Act, that is GST. In this chapter no much to discuss, only few concepts are there that should be learned. Then we have bank reconciliation statement, that we will discuss today. Then trial balance we will discuss, depreciation, provision and reserves, accounting for bills of exchange and rectification of error. These many chapters we will discuss today. Here is the first chapter for discussion, is Accounting of Goods and Service Tax, GST. In this chapter you should know what is GST. Okay, so you should know the meaning of GST, and you should learn what is the objective of GST. Plus you should learn what is intrastate GST as well as interstate GST. This is the very important part of your study related to GST. So whenever there is intrastate means what? Within the state GST is applied. So we have 2 category of GST, that is CGST. CGST means what? Central Goods and Service Tax. And we have SGST, that means State Goods and Service Tax. So whenever there is intrastate, within the state purchase and sale of goods, we apply CGST and SGST. Half or some part of the tax will go to central government and some part of it will go to state government. So for some of the goods it is decided how much it should go, or partly half central and half state government. And interstate means one state having exchanging the goods or going for purchase and sale of goods with that of the other state. So within the state and outside the state. So that are two types. Whenever there is interstate GST, there we use integrated GST. Integrated means it is a combination of both CGST and SGST with some prescribed way of calculation. So that calculation you don't have to study, but you have to know that whenever there is interstate GST, you have to apply IGST, integrated goods and service tax. Okay, so that basic concept you have to study. The other things are, or the journal entries related to this in this particular chapter, we don't have to study much about the journal entries here. Only basic concept you should know. Further we are going to study about GSTs. Next chapter is bank reconciliation statement. Students, in bank reconciliation statement we prepare, you should study what is the meaning of bank reconciliation statement. As you know, a businessman, they prepare cash book. In this cash book they record all the cash receipt and cash payment, that is cash inflow and outflow will be recorded in the bank reconciliation statement. We also know that in bank, that is cash book, there are double column cash book. In double column cash book there is a separate column for cash as well as bank related transaction. So when we check our cash book bank column with that of the passbook, sometimes there may be a difference in this book. Cash book and passbook may differ. That difference we had to rectify, and for that we prepare bank reconciliation statement. So that is the actual meaning of bank reconciliation statement. This you have to know. Okay, you have to study that. As an objective type questions, you may be asked about bank reconciliation statement. Then important thing related to this chapter is the problem itself. So when we prepare bank reconciliation statement, you should know that there are 4 different categories. One is when the balance starts from cash book. Okay, so when the balance start from cash book and cash book is showing debit balance, that means favorable balance, at that time what is the process? When you prepare a bank reconciliation statement starting from cash book debit balance, the result what you get at the end is passbook credit balance. Okay, passbook with credit balance. And the second category of bank reconciliation statement presentation is starting point is passbook. Okay, passbook with credit balance, that means it's a favorable balance. When the starting point is cash book with credit balance, the outcome of this is cash book with debit balance. The final result what you get will be the cash book with debit balance. And the next one is cash book balance starting with credit side. Credit side means it's an overdraft. That means in your cash book bank column there is no cash. Okay, you have drawn more than the what is there in your bank account. So the credit balance means overdraft, and the result of this will be passbook with debit balance. Okay, and the fourth category of the this type is passbook showing debit balance, and the final result of which will be cash book with credit balance. Okay, so these are the 4 categories of problem. This preparation of bank reconciliation statement from corrected adjustment cash book balance is deleted from your portion, so no need to study this. So the problems is more important in bank reconciliation statement. That may be asked for 4 marks or 3 marks. So you should know how to do this problem. Let us try one of the problem here. Before that, let us see when starting balance is debit, that is favorable balance as per cash book. Let us see some first category of problem first. That is, what are the items which we have to add and what are the items we have to subtract in this. So here are some list of items which you have to by heart. Check issued but not presented for payment. We have issued the check, that means we have given the payment to our creditor through a check, but they didn't went to bank and collected that payment. So we have reduced our cash book bank column, but our passbook balance have not reduced. Okay, in this following case you have to add that item. Okay, add that item and write it in a proper statement form. Then suppose you have check or cash deposited directly by the bank. So one of our customer or a debtor, he went directly to our bank account and he have deposited one check in our bank account, but we didn't get intimation from anybody or bank. So that's why our cash book is unrecorded. In that case, you have to add this amount to our cash book. Okay, and the third commonly asked item is interest and dividend collected by the bank. So if interest and dividend is collected by our bank for us, then that amount will be added to our cash book, because our passbook have been added with this amount, but cash book is not recorded. So your cash book is decreased and your passbook have increased. So that should not happen. That difference should not happen. You have to rectify, you have to clear that differences. So in this case, if interest and dividend is collected by your bank, that have to be added to your cash book. So these items are to be added in your cash book if the starting balance of your cash book is debit, favorable. Then which are the item which you have to subtract? Check deposited but not collected by bank. We have deposited the check into the bank, but bank didn't recorded that in the passbook. So that our cash book and passbook is showing a difference. In this following case, you have to subtract that item. Then check dishonored. Check dishonored means we didn't get payment for that check, then that also we have to be subtracted. Bank charges charge. The bank have collected some charges from us, that have to be subtracted. Interest charge. So this charge, dishonored, these items have to be subtracted. Then direct payment by the bank as per the standing order. So our insurance, our bill, telephone bill and all that, sometimes bank pay for us as per our order. So that intimation we didn't get. Okay, though we have instructed them, so every month they used to give that payment, but we didn't get that intimation, hence our cash book is unrecorded. So our cash book and passbook is showing a difference. So that direct payment made by the bank on our behalf, on our standing order, will be subtracted from the cash book. Now for a clear understanding, let us do one problem. See this. This is the balance. You can see balance as per cash book is given. So you're starting, you have to prepare a box. Here you can write BRS, that is bank reconciliation statement. If the name of the party is given, that also you can write the bank reconciliation statement. This is a short form, you have to write the full form. Then particulars and amount column will be there. Then balance as per cash book, that is what given to you in the question itself, that 2000 you could write. This is the starting point of your problem. Then see these two items is given. This may be either added or subtracted. Now how to identify whether it is to be added or subtracted? So you have to study the few of the items I have tick marked over here. See this problem. check deposited but not cleared rupees 500. So you have deposited that check into the bank, but they have not collected. See, check deposited but not collected by the bank. So this item have been subtracted. So just understand that if check is deposited but not cleared by the bank, that item have to be subtracted. Okay, so you have subtracted that item. Now what add, that is a customer had deposited rupees 400 into the bank directly. So there was one customer who directly went to our bank account and he deposited the check. So see, in add, this item is there, check or cash deposited directly into the bank. So that item is to be added. So see, I have added that item. I put the amount 2000 plus 4000, I will get 2400. Then the item which have to be subtracted 500, I have subtracted it. So I got 1900, and that is my balance as per passbook. See, this is debit balance, and the, what I got from passbook is the credit balance. So this is how you have to do. Just remember some of these items which are added and subtracted. If your balance as per passbook is credit balance, the opposite of these items you have to do. That is, whatever you have added, you have to subtract it, and whatever you have subtracted, you have to add it, if your starting balance is as per passbook. Okay, so just remember few of this item. All the items is not required, only few of these items, that is what I have given to you right now. You can remember that and also do this problem as a practice problem, and study well this chapter. Okay, next is trial balance. Trial balance is both theoretical and practical problems may be asked. So in this chapter you should know what is trial balance, the meaning of trial balance, and objective or functions of trial balance is very important. You should know, see, trial balance is prepared to know the arithmetical accuracy of your posting of ledger and journal. So so you can expect a problem like how the trial balance is shows the arithmetical accuracy of the posting. So what your answer should be, what comment on that. So such answers you may expect from the exams. So a theoretical part may be asked as well as problem related to trial balance. So some items will be given to you and you will be asked to show the debit balance and credit balance and make it tally. Okay, so both your debit side and credit side should be equal for a trial balance to be correct. Okay, now next chapter related to the revision is depreciation. So depreciation, you know what is the depreciation? It is reduction in the value of fixed assets. So that is depreciation. So you should learn what is the meaning of depreciation. You should know the different terms related to depreciation, and there are two types of depreciation. Different methods are there depreciation, that is straight line method, see, straight line method, and written down value method. So in straight line value method, see, depreciations for the year is computed using any of the two methods. So which are those two methods? Original cost methods, which is also known as straight line method, and the second method is diminishing balance method or reducing balance method. So with these two methods, the first method is straight line method. You may be asked what is the formula to calculate the depreciation using the straight line methods. So see, amount of depreciation is equal to cost of asset minus estimated scrap value divided by number of years of useful life. So this definition or this meaning of that is formula of straight line method is very important, and the rate of depreciation, how to calculate this. When you get the amount for this, that will be put in this formula. Total cost of that asset will be taken into 100. So you will get the rate of depreciation. So this two formula is very important. Based on this formula, you may be asked a problem. For example, a firm bought a machinery. The value cost of machinery is 7,40,000, and they have spent some amount in their installation, 60,000. The useful life of the machinery is 5 years, and the scrap value given to you is 40,000, and they are asking you the amount of annual depreciation as well as the rate of depreciation. So first of all, put the formula for annual depreciation: cost of asset minus estimated value, number of years of estimated life of the machinery.